Episode 7 of The Boys Season 5 is mainly about what happens after someone gains absolute power. The previous episode ended with Homelander becoming immortal through the V1, and this episode explores the consequences of that moment. Before, there was always the possibility that Homelander could be stopped. Now, the fear comes from the idea that there may no longer be a limit to his power at all. The episode opens in the aftermath of Homelander taking the V1, and the difference in his behavior is immediate. He no longer acts like someone trying to maintain public approval. Instead, he behaves like someone who believes he has moved beyond accountability entirely. The murder of the president is important because it removes the last symbolic authority above him. Earlier seasons often showed Homelander struggling with institutions like the government, public opinion, or Vought itself. Now those structures barely matter anymore. By killing the president, Homelander is essentially declaring that traditional power no longer has meaning in his world. This ties directly into the episode's religious imagery. Homelander is no longer presenting himself as a hero or even a political leader. He's presenting himself as something divine. Vought's propaganda becomes more extreme because the goal is no longer to convince people to support Homelander politically. The goal is to make people accept him spiritually and emotionally. One of the biggest themes in this episode is the relationship between fear and obedience. Earlier in the series, Vought relied on branding, celebrity culture, and patriotism to control people. Now, fear has become the main tool. Homelander understands that if people believe he can't be challenged, they will eventually stop resisting him altogether. This is why immortality matters symbolically. It doesn't just make him physically stronger. It makes him appear inevitable. That idea is more terrifying than raw power itself. A powerful enemy can still be defeated. An eternal enemy changes how people think. It creates hopelessness. Butcher's storyline focuses on desperation. With Homelander now seemingly unstoppable, he turns toward increasingly dangerous solutions. His plan to use Russian research and uranium experiments on Kamiko shows how far he's willing to go. The disturbing part is that Butcher no longer fully questions whether these actions are morally right. His thinking has become entirely outcome-focused. If the plan has a chance of working, then he believes it's justified. This becomes even more dangerous when combined with the Joe Kessler visions. These scenes are important because they blur the line between Butcher's real thoughts and the darker impulses he tries to suppress. Kessler represents the part of Butcher that believes violence is the answer to everything. The episode continues exploring the idea that obsession slowly transforms people into the thing they hate. Butcher started the series wanting justice, but over time, his mission has consumed his morality. Huey realizes this during their conversations. He begins to understand that Butcher is no longer simply fighting Homelander. He's becoming someone capable of causing massive destruction himself. This creates an important parallel between the two characters. Homelander believes power gives him the right to do whatever he wants. Butcher increasingly believes desperation gives him the same right. The methods are different, but the mindset is becoming similar. Kimiko's storyline is the emotional center of the episode. She agrees to undergo Butcher's dangerous procedure because she wants to help stop Homelander, even though the risks are extreme. What makes this important is that Kamiko has spent much of the season trying to reconnect with her humanity. She has talked openly about wanting a normal life and possibly becoming mortal one day. Now she willingly puts herself through another transformation that turns her into even more of a weapon. This creates a tragic contradiction. The closer Kamiko gets to emotional healing, the more violence the world demands from her. The experiment itself symbolizes how war and conflict reshape people physically and emotionally. Kamiko is treated less like a person and more like a possible solution to a problem. Even though the boys care about her, the situation still reduces her to a tool. That reflects one of the darker ideas running through the series. Systems built around violence eventually start viewing everyone in terms of usefulness. Kamiko agreeing to the process also highlights her loyalty and selflessness. Unlike Homelander, who seeks power for control, Kamiko accepts suffering for the sake of protecting others. Frenchie's role in the episode is built around devotion. Throughout the season, he has tried to imagine a future with Kamiko that is peaceful and normal. However, the world around them keeps dragging them back into violence. His death is tragic because it happens right when the possibility of hope seems closest. Frenchie sacrifices himself to protect Kamiko, which completes his arc in a meaningful but painful way. Frenchie's death reinforces one of the series' recurring ideas: genuinely caring about someone makes you vulnerable. In The Boys, relationships are constantly threatened by larger systems of violence and control. However, the episode also treats Frenchie's sacrifice as something meaningful rather than pointless. Unlike Homelander's pursuit of immortality, Frenchie accepts mortality because he values someone else more than himself. That difference matters. Frenchie dying in Kimiko's arms symbolizes both love and helplessness. Kimiko is physically powerful enough to survive almost anything, yet she can't save the person she cares about most. This reinforces the tragedy of her character. No matter how strong she becomes, strength can't protect her from emotional pain. After helping Homelander achieve immortality, Soldier Boy decides he wants to leave everything behind. This suggests that even he recognizes how dangerous the situation has become. However, the relationship between him and Homelander collapses quickly because neither of them truly understands connection in a healthy way. Their bond is built more on ego and legacy than genuine care. Homelander placing Soldier Boy back into cryogenic captivity is symbolic because it shows how Homelander deals with people once they stop being useful to him. Soldier Boy helped him achieve ultimate power, but once that purpose was served, he became disposable. This moment reflects a common pattern in authoritarian systems. Loyalty only matters temporarily. Once someone no longer serves a purpose, they become a threat instead. Homelander's treatment of Soldier Boy proves that his desire for control is stronger than any sense of family or gratitude. One of the most important scenes in Episode 7 is the story behind Mother's Milk's nickname. When Marvin was a child, he found a pigeon that was close to dying. Instead of ignoring it like everyone else, he tried to save it. The other kids mocked him for it. They stopped calling him Marvin Milk and started calling him Mother's Milk, making jokes about him nursing the bird like a mother. The insults are crude because that's how kids communicate. But what matters is his reaction to it. He didn't see the nickname as humiliating. He saw it as proof that he cared about living things when nobody else did. To him, the name became a badge of honor. That changes how we look at his character across the whole series. Has always been the emotional center of The Boys. While Butcher is driven by hatred and revenge, Mother's Milk is driven by protection. He wants to save people. Even when he becomes violent, there's usually a moral reason behind it. He constantly tries to keep the group grounded and human. The deep storyline is one of the saddest parts of the episode because it shows the emptiness of blind loyalty. He sacrificed his values, his dignity, and his relationships to stay close to Vought and Homelander. In return, he's discarded almost instantly. This mirrors what happened to Firecracker earlier in the season. The system rewards obedience only until it becomes inconvenient. After that, people are abandoned. The Deep's downfall reinforces the idea that authoritarian systems eventually destroy even the people supporting them. He believed loyalty would protect him, but loyalty means nothing in a system built entirely around fear and control. By the time he realizes this, he has already lost everything. The sequences inside Vought Studios are some of the clearest examples of satire in the episode. The bizarre religious productions and stage propaganda show how entertainment is being used to normalize Homelander's rule. The important detail is that these productions aren't trying to convince people logically. They're trying to overwhelm people emotionally through repetition, spectacle, and symbolism. The fake religious imagery represents how reality itself is being rewritten. People are no longer expected to think critically. They're expected to consume narratives passively. This connects back to one of the show's biggest themes overall. Institutions often shape public understanding through media rather than truth. The final moments of the episode leave the team devastated after Frenchie's death, while Homelander stands stronger than ever. This ending matters because it shows the imbalance between the two sides. The boys continue losing pieces of themselves and each other, while Homelander keeps gaining power. At the same time, the episode suggests that emotional connection may still be the thing Homelander lacks completely. Characters like Frenchie and Kamiko are capable of sacrifice because they genuinely care about other people. Homelander only understands possession and dominance. That difference may become important in the finale. Episode 7 is mainly about transformation. Nearly every character changes in some way over the course of the episode. Homelander transforms from dictator into something closer to a cult leader or god king. Butcher moves closer to becoming the same kind of monster he has spent years fighting. Kimiko transforms herself physically in order to protect others, while Frenchie's sacrifice transforms their relationship into a tragedy. By the end, the series reaches its darkest point so far. Homelander appears untouchable, the boys are emotionally shattered, and the possibility of stopping him feels smaller than ever. That hopelessness is what makes the finale feel dangerous, because now the question is no longer whether the world can survive Homelander's rise. The question is what the characters are willing to become in order to stop him. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.